what do they look at? What do they look at to basically determine your value when they sell you?
It's all about the money, man. I think people want back what maybe they raised the child with money and they send the child to varsity and gave the child the best educations. I think they want the money back but I mean, when their child was born, it was your responsibility in the first place to let that child go through the world and see and raised in a proper manner. And I don't think anyone is indebted to anyone. So if you want Lobola, it's like selling a person. That person is in debt to you because that person have to go from you with money, and if you don't get that money, that person can't go. That person belongs to you.
Neil, thank you for speaking to us on Kofifi FM.
Okay, James.
Send us your views as well and be part of this conversation on our Facebook page, Kofifi FM 97.2. Close to 6,000 family members who are part of that big family on Kofifi FM 97.2 Facebook page. Or follow Sipho Masiro at Sipho Masiro at MC Adelo at Kofifi FM _972 for you to become part of this conversation. Do you also agree with Neil that paying Lobola is more like selling someone or buying someone? As Neil said.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is why we're having this conversation, so that we are able to empower one another, so that we understand that as the people of South Africa, there's so many of us in terms of different cultural backgrounds. And because Ntate Nelson Mandela always spoke about the Rainbow Nation, we need to understand that with all our different cultural and ethnic backgrounds, there is some culture within us, and we need to at least understand what our culture is all about. I've got another clip here that I want to play from a guy called Artwell. And Artwell is a black guy who married a colored girl. So let's hear what he had to go through. Are you ready for this one? Okay, let's do this.
Let's see it.
How can't you know? Why won't you say anything? Let's do this.
Hi, my name is Artwell, and I've been married for a happy 5 years. My process was quite interesting. I thought my transition into marriage would be a very cheap one. It turned out to be a very costly like any other black wedding. So like I said, my wife's colored. As we were about to get married, so the vendor side of her family appeared. And obviously she didn't know too much about that side of the world, and I don't know much of that side of the world, so it was quite tricky for us to find our paths. And also from my side, I am half Zulu and half Tsonga, so the Zulu side of the family really took over the negotiation part of things. But it was an interesting ride because me and my wife really got to learn more about each other and our cultures. We did the usual steps. I went to the graves, got introduced to her people. My uncles went through the whole culture of the blankets and then there was some interesting thing that I didn't know happened, where they wrap you in a blanket and they wrap two other girls in a blanket, and then the uncles have to guess which one of them is your wife. And if they get it wrong, they get fined. I mean, those kind of interesting things. I obviously wasn't inside there because I wasn't allowed inside that space. But I mean, there was a lot of things that I learned. And if it's any recommendation to anybody, it's whatever culture it is that you have or you cherish, just, keep it and follow it through. I know for sure that my children will continue the process, and I hope their children continue too. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. That's Artwell Nwaila giving us his views there. And I've got another view here from a guy called Kagiso. Kagiso Tau also got married a couple of, I think about 2 years ago. Now, he is a Tswana man, and he married a Pedi girl.
Okay.
And he had to have 2 weddings in 2 different provinces. And they live in Gauteng.
Sure.
So now, I remember when he got married, what happened was we had to leave Gauteng, go to Polokwane, and from Polokwane drive to Zeerast in the Northwest Province, all in one weekend. So this was not only taxing in terms of transport and accommodation. But let's hear what you have to say in terms of his own experience. You ready for this one?
Sure, let's see it.
Yeah, my name is Kakuko and I've been married for 7 years, but we only married officially 4 years ago. And I did my part. I've paid Lobola. I mean, it's the money that I raised. You work so hard saving up for Lobola, and then and just to marry this woman that you love. I mean, it's an effort that you make. You gotta make an effort. I mean, it also gives you a sense of respect from your in-laws. When you go and offer the Lobola, we don't pay Lobola, we offer it. Yeah, it was quite an interesting situation. I mean, I had my dad, I had my uncle, and there's two families that have never seen each other, and the negotiations were intense. Although you know how much they wanted for Lobola, you still wanna hold back a little bit, so you don't go back empty-handed. At least you must go back with something, that shows that you had a good negotiators. I do support the idea, and I think it's an idea that should be carried out for generations to come. I mean, I've got 2 daughters, and I think I will expect when the time is ready for them to get married, that the husband then should actually offer some Lobola to me. It's a sign, and it shows that they can actually look after your daughter when they got their own home, when they build in their own family, and you respect that kind of guy who makes an effort. I mean, well, that's me in my tradition. I do respect that kind of people. I think Lobola, it's ideal. Although nowadays it's been overrated. You hear of people paying over to 50 and 80,000 rand, which is I find it a little bit too much. I mean, after all, you as a family now, when you as the husband, after paying that amount of money, you need to go back to your own house and start build a family and start maintaining the wife. I mean, maintaining the family. So I do support the idea, but I do stand against it when it's a little bit too much.
There we go. That's Kagiso Tau right there talking about his own experience. Thabo, I mean, what do you make of people like one of the clips who said Lobola process, it's like selling someone?
I don't think it's like selling someone. Honestly, as I said, the intention is for 2 families to meet to create a strong relationship, and in order to support the couple that will be taking this very big step, because it's easy for 2 people just to decide that they're getting married, but when the 2 families come together, there's some bit of a support structure, and if any problems come up, they do know that they will be cushioned by this support. But also, the families become one. So the intention is to strengthen up ties. It's not for money. You see, because, however, you will find some very illicit elements wherever you go, be it in business, be it in the medical field, the industrial field, and
church.
The law, the law fraternity, the church. You'll find priests who are corrupt, you'll find nurses who are corrupt, and indeed you find people who want to abuse this as a monetary tool for their own gains. So I think those are more of an exception than a norm. And so I think we should treat it as that. But the intention really is not to sell anyone. I don't think anyone is for sale to start off with.
Yeah. You've got some comments there, Honorable Member.
I have a comment here from John on Motlavi. He says, I have been in Lobola negotiations for my niece, but mine was, well, he got married as well, and he says mine was a matter of ke gapale namane ka Sesotho, as I was married Mosotho. If we gapale namane, you pay more, especially hanamali elengwanyana, because ba o tla gapa Magadi or Lobola one day, and the wife to be there and nana the price ya gago. So if I'm charged, for example, 20,000, 16,000 can be ya mosadi, 4,000 ya namane e ke gapa. So go dependa ka ditso ka go farologana le dithutego. Ga leboga John Motlabi.
Thabo,
for
what do you
comment,
make of that comment?
No, I mean, John is right. It depends on the kind of upbringing, the kind of background, the culture, the rituals, and all of those. It depends on those where it comes. But it does come to thingy. But actually, the opposite may also apply in some instances where then the other family will say, but your daughter has got 4 kids, and so I don't think that we should be paying so much. It can work either way, depending on the cultural background that is being put to use at that time. But it, as I said, it can work either way.
Let's talk about, before we look at this Lobola calculator or the Lobola app that is out. I actually, when thinking about the show today, I researched the app and I found 2 of them.
Yeah.
If you get the app, it's got a cow there and there's a guy sort of milking the cow. And as
Going to
he's
be milked.
milking, you can see the milk going into the bucket. So it's quite an interesting app. And now I want us to go through it because I know we've also got about 3 clips to play as
Yes,
well.
2 clips to play.
Now, the first thing you open up on this app, it's looking at the bridegroom. So let's create a profile of a bride and a groom.
Happily, yeah.
So this one is looking at the groom. It says, does the groom have a job? Should we say yes or no?
Let's just say yes,
Okay.
because many grooms to be will have a job these days.
Okay. And then it says, what is the groom's capital net worth? How much should we say this groom is worth?
The groom is worth.
Yeah.
In terms of salary,
Yeah.
do they give options?
No, you just have to come up with a number. Let's
Say 700k
Okay.
a year per year.
Let's
annum?
go. All right. Okay, let's get there. All right. We put on 700,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, it's not. It goes up to about 100,000.
Okay.
But this is made up in dollars, so this is crazy. It's a Lobola app, but it's
in dollars. US dollars. USD. How's that?
So
Yeah.
it says $70,000. So it's 700,000.
Wow.
if not
Okay.
more.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's ask. It says here, does this person own a property? Should we say yes or no?
Oh, well, if he's worth 700,
It should be.
yeah, I think.
Okay. He owns a car.
Yeah.
All right. He's got a professional job.
We assume,
We assume. It's a skilled job.
sure, with 700k per annum.
Okay. All right. And then the next questions obviously won't apply because it says no skilled job, owns a business, stays with his parents, still a student. So this would.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going to the bride. We're done with the groom.
Okay.
All right. And then now it says here, the bride, your value does not decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. Okay. What is your age in years? So what age should we give the bride?
Okay, what age should we give the bride buddies? Should we say, I don't know, 30?
All right.
30.
30. Okay. It's between 26 and 31 years old. Does a groom smoke?
The groom, I don't know.
The bride. Does the bride smoke?
Let's be fair and say no. Shame, man. She smokes, but we don't know. She smokes, but we don't know. So we'll say no.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then does the bride have education, metric, no metric, or tertiary?
I don't know.
Should we, being a modern sort of woman,
Tertiary.
let's say tertiary.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's
Her
got
value
the
will go up.
undergraduate, yeah.
Okay, she doesn't smoke and she's got education,
Yeah.
so her value is up. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see. Does she have any kids? 4
yeah.
or more, or no kids? 1, 2,
two.
or 3? 2 kids.
She's got 2 kids,
Okay.
I think.
Can she bake?
We don't know, so we're going to say no. Because we
Okay.
don't
Yeah,
know.
no, definitely no.
All right. Is she employed?
Yes.
Or self-employed?
Self-employed.
Okay, self-employed.
She's a tenderpreneur.
Okay. And then this one says, how many sexual partners has she had in the last?
Oh my goodness me. You know what they say?
Yeah.
She'll say 10, but you need to multiply it by 3.
Yes.
Sure.
And